everyone. I'm GoLocal Live correspondent Chelsea Gay here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. My first guest today is Melissa Salvis from Flawless Beauty, and we are here to talk about microblading, which is a new trend, I think, in beauty that's come up over the past few years. For all of you that don't know, it's focusing on eyebrows today.
Yes.
So eyebrow microblading. So I don't know anything about it, so I'm going to let Melissa take it away. But Melissa, give us an idea of what microblading is.
Microblading is a semi-permanent tattoo of the eyebrow. It's done with a small blade, and we use pigment using small hair-like strokes so that the eyebrow comes out looking natural and fuller.
Okay. Is it similar to the way a tattoo would be done, or?
It is similar to a tattoo, but a tattoo goes a little bit deeper. Microblading only goes within the first layer of skin.
Okay. And so does it last as long as, say, a tattoo would last forever, or is it?
Microblading lasts about a year to a year and a half, depending on skin type and depending on the care of the eyebrow.
Okay. And if someone's interested in getting microblading done, do you have them come in for a consultation? Can everybody do it, or is it for a specific kind of skin, or?
There are certain people who are good candidates for microblading. Anybody who has a full brow who wants to just fill in their brow for a little bit more color. People who have overplucked their brows for years of, tweezing, and they want to add a little bit more, shape to their brow, or even people who have medical conditions that they lose all of their eyebrow hair completely.
Okay. Yep.
Chemotherapy, diabetes, any type of issue like that.
And how about men? I mean, have you had
Men,
men
I
come
have had
in?
men customers,
Okay,
yes.
and that's just, same process?
Same process,
okay.
Yes.
And is it painful?
It isn't painful.
How painful?
No, I use a topical numbing, and then I also use a numbing during the process too, so.
Okay, and it's one treatment?
It's 2 treatments. You
Okay.
come in for the first treatment, it takes about an hour and a half,
Okay.
and then you come back 30 days later for the touch-up.
And what's the process to get certified to do microblading? Have you had to go through a specific class, or?
When I was trained about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I went through Brow Design International in
Okay.
New York City.
Awesome.
And then I furthered my education with Jen Boyd Inc. out of LA. She came down to Florida for a couple of classes.
Yep.
And I am actually going back there in October to do another training to expand on the microblading, and I am also in the process of becoming a trainer.
Oh, awesome.
So
So for those viewers that might be a little bit nervous about trying something like this, I know you said, it's not going to last forever. I mean, what would you say to those people that are a little bit on the fence? Maybe they are okay with the way they look, but I mean, what are the real perks of doing something like microblading?
Well, I always suggest to come in for a consultation first. That eases a lot of the fears, asking questions. Just seeing maybe what it looks like drawn out first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know.
So you draw, the semi-permanent on the face.
Yeah,
just to
I will
see.
kind of
Okay.
draw it out just so they kind of have an idea of what the shape will look like.
Okay. And what is the price ranges of microblading? What are we looking at for a cost?
I charge $400 for microblading, and that includes the first session and the touch-up session.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone were to be interested in seeing you for a consultation, I know you work out of 2 salons, and I don't want to
Yes.
get that wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
what are the salons that you work out of? And
I
where
work
are
out of Creative Corner in Coventry on Tyoke Ave, and I also work out of the Loft Salon in Cranston on Pontiac Ave.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
the show
you.
today to tell
Thanks
us a
for
little
having
bit
me.
more about microblading. And for those of you who are interested, we will be posting the link to Melissa's website in our editorial later today.
Okay.
Make sure to stay tuned for our next guest, and we'll be back shortly. Hi everyone, and welcome back to GoLocal Live. My second guest today is Colin Carlton from Ruffin Wranglers.
Hi.
I love to say that. I feel like I want to say Ruffin Wranglers. I think I did that earlier today.
That's the whole point.
So I'm sure many of our viewers don't know a lot about you guys. I know because I have a dog, and I've done a lot of research actually. I've never actually sent him yet, but I want you to be able to tell the viewers a little bit about what Ruffin Wranglers is.
Absolutely. So Ruffin Wranglers is a dog excursion company. And what that is it's a little bit different than a dog walk. We have our own fenced-in field up in Rehoboth. So what we do is we drive around in our special outfitted, we call them sniff-mobiles. So they're outfitted specifically for dogs. They've got rubber mats and they're separated from the drivers, climate controlled in the back.
Wow.
So we drive all around, we pick up the people's dogs from their houses, and then we take them to our field, and then we play with them, we socialize them, we get them nice and tired, and then after they're done for their run, we take them back home, drop them off.
So what started this whole idea of Ruffin Wranglers?
So Blythe Penna started this 11 years ago, and
Wow.
it was because she wanted to spend more time with her dog.
Okay.
So she decided to open this, and ever since then it's just been wildly popular.
And so where do you actually take the dogs? Where are they going?
So it's in a field in Rehoboth,
Okay.
Massachusetts. So it's about 20 minutes away,
Yep.
and we service, I think we're up to 11 trucks now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you pick up all over Rhode Island?
Most of Rhode Island.
Okay.
So Providence, most of Providence, some of Pawtucket, all of Barrington, Riverside, Edgewood, Patuxent Village, a little bit East Providence,
Okay.
Stuff like that.
And so what's the criteria if you have a dog and you're interested in doing something like this? I mean, do you do like a meet and greet with the dog,
Yes.
or
Yes.
how does
So
that work?
the first step is you'll get in touch with us, and we'll make sure that you're in our service area. That way, there's no confusion or anything like that. And then what we do is we come, we meet you, we meet the dog, we make sure that it's going to be a good fit, and we just take care of all the logistics of it. You give us a key or access to your house somehow, and that way when we come to pick up the dog, nobody has to be there.
Okay.
So if you work in Boston, or if you're a doctor and you work late hours, you don't have to be there for us to take care of your dog.
And speaking of hours, what are the general hours that you guys pick up and drop off?
So Monday through Friday, we start pickups at 8:30, and then at the end of the day, they're home by around 3:30 to 4, depending on the different routes in the areas. And then there is a Saturday run that happens, and that's just a little bit different of a deal.
And so I've actually seen on your Facebook that you post a lot of videos.
Yes.
And so if you're someone that's a little overbearing of a dog parent, like myself, can they go on and actually
Yes.
see, okay, what their dog's doing all the time?
So we're on Instagram all the time, we're on
Yep.
Facebook, we're on Twitter, and basically what we also do is we text the videos and pictures to the owners
great.
throughout the day too.
Okay.
So you see what's happening with your dog,
Okay.
and that's kind of a good deal. And we're always open, and a lot of the owners have all of our personal cell numbers and stuff like that.
And dogs that require any sort of special treatment, is that something that you guys handle if you need,
Yeah.
they need medicine or
Yes, yeah, to a certain extent, we don't want to pretend to be vets or anything
Yeah, of
like
course.
that, but we do kind of go out of our way to make sure that the dogs with special needs or the older dogs,
Yeah.
they get kind of the same care and treatment
Okay.
as everybody else.
And what is your general price point?
So for a half a day run, it's $32.
Okay.
For a full day run, it's $47.
Okay.
And then for additional dogs, there are additional charges. But
Yep.
for existing clients, we also do let-outs and overnights or boarding or anything like that.
Oh, great. So you provide boarding as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
And again, I guess if you could elaborate a little more on why this is great and important for
Yes.
dogs. I think that's probably a good thing
yeah.
to talk about.
So the main point is obviously a lot of people just need their dogs to get out
Yeah.
while they're not home. That's like the basic function of it. But we go that 10 step further, and we socialize them so that they become more acclimated to other humans and other dogs. And the bigger aspect too is when you go to a dog park, you don't know all those other dogs.
That's true, yeah.
And you don't know what they're going to do, and you don't really know the other owners most of the time. But with us, we have about 200 dogs that we take care of.
Okay.
So we know all 200 dogs as if they're our own dogs.
Awesome.
So we know what they're going to do, and we know how they're going to interact with other dogs.
Okay.
So
And would you say that, dogs that may or may not have, hyper energy, or maybe they're ripping up couches at home, or, not necessarily having behavioral issues, is this something that really
this
helps
is
them?
perfect for that.
Okay.
It's totally perfect because the reason they're ripping stuff up is because they're bored or because they want to get out or
Yeah,
they
of
just want to
course.
go for a run. If you were locked in, our apartments all day long, you'd feel the
True.
same way.
That's true.
So this is great for that. Really gets the energy out.
Awesome. So what's the best way that viewers can get in touch with you to see about bringing their dog in for a meet and greet?
Yeah, so there's a form right on the front page of our website. If you go to roughandwranglers.com, you go right there, just fill out the form, and we'll get in touch with you and set up a meet and greet. You can also reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, anything like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Colin, for joining us today. If you're anything like me, be sure to check them out if you're one of those like overprotective dog parents, or if you just want your dog to have fun while you're not at home.
Exactly.
Check out Rough and Wranglers, and stay tuned. We've got our last guest coming up next. No, by the booze. That's fine. Hi, guys, and welcome back to Go Local Live. Our last guest today is Kyle Poland from everyone's favorite Providence bar, Cersei.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And we're having him on the show today because you guys have opened a second location in East Greenwich.
We did. So we're actually right behind New England Tech on Division Road, which is a beautiful location. There's a golf course that literally surrounds the building. So not only is it a great location, but we have a beautiful view. So it's really awesome.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know
Thank you.
Cersei here is beautiful, and I haven't gotten a chance to check out the new location. I think it just opened
Yep.
last
So
week.
we have been open for This is our third week now.
Okay.
So the first 2 weeks went great. Well, I guess I'm lying. The first week, just like any other restaurant open, you have your ups and downs. We had a couple issues, with motors going down and walking around on the roof and everything else, but we got it squared away, and that's what the soft open is for. And that's why we kind of kept it under wraps for a little while. But now we're full bore.
Oh, that's great. And I know Carlo had a really specific vision for Cersei, and is this like an extension of that original vision, or is this a new concept? Or?
No, conceptually it's the same. Our goal is to kind of expand Cersei.
Okay.
We really believe, in the concept that we have, and we're very proud of it. So when we took over the space in East Greenwich, our goal was to recreate the same atmosphere, put out, the same level of product. So you'll see a lot of things that are very similar, but also things that are different. When you walk in, some of the decor, the white theme is still there.
Okay.
The shutters that we designed for Providence, we installed them in East Greenwich as well. Some of our cocktails are same, but we have new cocktails that we're introducing as well. And then on our food menu, we also have a lot of the same cocktails, but we have a lot of new stuff, a few other new items too that we introduced. So that way, it's not completely the same. We give the guests, the consumers, something new to look forward to, and with the new location.
So for anybody that maybe hasn't visited either location, tell our viewers a little bit about the style of food at Cersei, the ambiance, what they're going to experience.
So as far as the style of food, we consider ourselves modern American with an Italian flair. Okay. So you'll see that Italian influence not only in the cocktails, but with our entrees as well. One of my favorite dishes is the frutta di mare. You can see that on both menus. Obviously a lot of Italian inspiration there. Hand-cut thick pappardelle pasta, seafood medley with it. It's a beautiful dish, and it kind of represents what we're going for as far as our plate appearance of the plates and the quality of food that we want to put out. As far as the atmosphere goes, same thing. We want to have a lively atmosphere. We want it to be fun. We do consider ourselves casual fine dining. With that being said, we still like to create a fun atmosphere. So the bar to this point, knock on steel.
Whatever this is, yeah.
The bar has been busy, and we like to kind of push that all the way through late night as well. I think you find some places close up, right after dinner service. We like to go a little bit later. In East Greenwich, we'll be through 11, and the weekend's 1 o'clock. So we hope to capture that late night bar clientele as well.
And so are you doing like DJ music over there as
We're
well?
not
I know
doing
you do
any
that in
DJs.
Providence.
We do have music, and we do pump it up a little bit, turn the lights down a little bit after dinner service.
All right.
We will have DJs for events, and as well as, let's say, a Mother's Day brunch. We plan on having some jazz singers, some live music there. So there will be entertainment down the road for sure.
And so is it a larger space? You said events. Are you able to, is there an event function area?
It is. It is a significantly larger space, and we do have a large event area with its separate bar, separate bathroom, and seating for close to 70, which is really nice because that allows us to be able to do dinner events during our regular dinner service, or do separate events that are private and away from the rest of the dining area, so that way people are able to capture that. They have their private, they have their celebration, and we're able to keep that separate from the dining area, which is really awesome. And to have your own bar over there is pretty cool too.
Incredible.
That doesn't always happen. So
why East Greenwich? I have to ask.
Well, it really so much wasn't, okay, we need to target East Greenwich.
Okay.
It was, what's the best available location out there? We had been seeking a second location for probably 3 years now.
Wow.
And Carlo, my partner, had been out there to the old Bistro 9, which the restaurant was formerly, and he had an experience there, and he just saw a lot of potential. And it happened to come up, and he knew that it was a space that he felt we could be successful in. So we went after it, and it worked out really well. We were able to get it. So we like being in a residential area.
There's parking now.
Yeah, there's a parking lot. So all the necessary things kind of came into play, and it all kind of fit the bill for what we wanted. And the fact that it's in East Greenwich is a bonus because Carlo lives in East Greenwich. He lives right off the golf course, which is nice.
He must love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can walk to work now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he rides the golf cart back and forth to work. So,
wait, seriously?
Yeah. So East Greenwich, it turned out to be a perfect location because of those things. For instance, Carlo living so close in proximity.
Perfect.
But the fact that there is parking, it's a residential area. The layout of the restaurant, the function room. It was just we just saw a lot of potential in the space. So we went for it.
Well, it's a great community too.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a great community.
Yeah,
Great. A lot of the customers from East Greenwich, they do visit us in Providence, so we already do have a customer base that we've already developed downtown, and we're seeing them in East Greenwich now too as well. So it's a great community, great area to be in.
And so what are some, I know you said there were a couple different menu items, and we'll talk about the different drink items. I know you brought me one, I'm super excited. What are the differences in the menu? I know you said it's pretty minimal. I heard something about sushi. I mean, what are the differences?
So, you know, the first thing we did was, you know, we did change some of the pricing. We made it a little bit more budget friendly. You know, being in a residential area, you know, the goal is to have a lot of repeat customers. So, you know, hopefully they will take advantage of that. As far as menu items go, we introduced sushi, which is something we always wanted to do. Myself and Carlo both worked at 10 Prime Steak and Sushi, where we had a lot of success working with sushi. So when we hired Makoto, who's one of our head chefs in East Greenwich, he has a ton of experience with sushi, so he was able to bring that to the table for us and make it happen. So our Circe roll is amazing. I recommend it if you come in, have it as an appetizer, have it as an entree if you want. You know,
what's in it?
So you have filet, you have lobster, and you have tuna, and then you have all the sauces you can imagine. So what's better than that?
Wow,
you know?
nothing.
And there's some rice in there too.
You didn't bring me that.
No, I couldn't make that happen. I told you Makoto makes that happen. I'm the drink guy. So next time we'll have Makoto, we can do some sushi.
And speaking of drinks, I know you guys have awesome bartenders over at Circe. Did you utilize their talents to come up with some new drinks at the new location?
Fortunately, I was able to take able to take a couple of the bartenders and have them work in East Greenwich, and they're still working there. And it's worked out great because they came with a certain amount of experience. Literally 50% of the cocktail menu is the same as it is in Providence. So that way, you know, their experience with that helped them assist the new employees in East Greenwich. And plus, too, to bring somebody in that already knows how you work, knows your system, knows what you expect, is a huge plus, and allowed us to focus on other things.
And so what are you seeing in terms of a customer base? I know you said a lot of people that come over here are closer to there. Are you seeing a lot of new people come to try out Circe? Are you seeing some of your crowd shift?
We are. It's funny. I was talking to a guest last night, and you know, the first 5 tables that came in last night when I was in East Greenwich, I asked them where are they from, and it's a question I always ask because in downtown there are so many hotels. It's good to know which hotels are sending you business. It's good to know where people are from. A lot of people from out of state, you know, visiting the universities, and literally everybody that I spoke to said, I live nearby, I'm in the neighborhood, I'm from East Greenwich, which is something that we're not used to. So, you know, it's really cool to learn that the people in the surrounding area are coming to visit, you know. So if we can capture that audience, I think we'll be okay.
That's excellent. And are you doing, I know you do a happy hour over here at this bar, same thing in East Greenwich?
Yep, so for 4:30 to 6:30, we do a half hour, we do a half off happy hour bar menu. And, you know, that's available to bar. So we're hoping to kick that off and get people addicted to our bar menu as well. We've got some hot dogs on there too, which we don't have downtown, but we do in East Greenwich.
You're
so that's
giving the
cool.
East Greenwich community hot dogs.
Yeah, we're going to give them some hot dogs.
We have
awesome.
New York system
Only the
down
best.
Here, so down there you got to give them hot dogs. So speaking of happy hour, you brought us a drink that I'm very excited to try. Now tell us about, this is different than anything at the Providence.
So I brought this because this was actually a drink that we introduced in the Providence location, and it was massively successful. And then, you know, with seasonal drinks changing, we took it off the menu. So then when we went to East Greenwich, I said, I have to bring this one back. This was one of my creations, so I wanted to bring it and put it back on. And it's a great cocktail for this time of year. It's a little bit more versatile, where it's not necessarily just a fall drink. You can have it through the winter and then even the summer if you want. So it's actually a Black Mission Manhattan. So what we do is we take a whiskey and we infuse it with Black Mission figs. We let the figs sit for at least 3 days. Then after 3 days, hopefully the whiskey's matured enough and it has absorbed enough of that fig flavor. Then we add a Jaffard vanilla liqueur, which is an awesome liqueur because it's all natural and it's actually flavored with Madagascar vanilla beans. And then we add 2 dashes of a Patriot's bitters, which adds a little bit of an anise flavor to it. So it just kind of rounds out the sweetness and a little bit of a bitterness to it. And it's great when you have a champagne coupe in front of you when you've got a Black Mission fig on a skewer. So why don't we try it? Is that all right?
Everybody write that down. You can make your own.
Can we try it? Is that all right? I don't want to break any rules.
No,
all right.
I don't know. Do we have rules? There's no alcohol in this.
Well, maybe.
Wow, looks delicious. Beautiful color. Can't go wrong with that.
So this is it.
Well, cheers. Cheers to the new opening.
Cheers. Well, thank you for having me.
Let's give this a try. Oh, yes, absolutely.
So,
I got a fig in my way.
Best thing to do is take that fig, let it drop, let it sit, and eat that at the end.
Oh, yeah, that's delicious. That's very dangerous. Don't try this at home. And so before we go, I have to ask, what is your favorite thing on the menu?
I say it every single time. It's always the lobster risotto with avocado ice cream and dragon crackers. And my line is, it's the only time you get to have ice cream before dinner, and it's okay.
It's an actual ice cream?
It's an actual avocado ice cream. Yep. So we
That's
take
amazing.
avocados, we process them, and we make our own ice cream, and it's awesome.
And how about if you don't eat seafood?
If you don't eat seafood, we have a lot of traditional stuff too. I mean, if you're more of a traditional eater, we have a chicken entree, we have meatloaf, which is awesome, been a staple in Providence as well in East Greenwich now since day one. Mashed potatoes, sautéed spinach, and asparagus wrapped in prosciutto. So, if you're not a seafood person, we got you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kyle,
Awesome.
for coming
No
on the
problem.
show today.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you get a chance to check out the new location in East Greenwich. I do have one comment before I sign off. Our first guest, Melissa Salvis, she did mention that microblading was good for people with diabetes, and I just wanted to let our viewers know that that is actually not true, that if you have diabetes, you are not a candidate for microblading, just so everybody's on the same page with that. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, and we'll be back next week with some exciting new guests.